Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, General Manager at WEIU. My co-host is not here, Michelle Bravo, so we'll hopefully she'll show up before the show's up. But we're going to talk today with the EIU Booth Library. Amy Odwarka is here. Amy, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Give us your title and job duty over there.
Sure. So I am brand new to the university. I started in July, and I'm the first-year experienced student success librarian over at Booth.
There you go. And, of course, making a repeat appearance for probably the 10th time, Beth Heldebrandt.
Thanks for having me again.
Public relations guru or director?
Director.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you
Same
were going
di-
by your...
same thing,
There
yeah.
you go. So we're going to focus on Amy early, so no offense, Beth, and then we'll get to Beth.
I'm
Amy?
thinking.
Wow, this is exciting.
Well, I thought so. At least, well, because it's new and it's fun. So tell us, I guess, Amy, you're new to the university, and so kind of explain your role and what you do over at Booth.
Yeah, sure. So, one of the main responsibilities that I have over at the library is really just helping to onboard all of our new students here at the university during their first year, new transfer students, to make sure that they're really well aware of all of the support networks that we have over at the library to help them with their classes and their own personal research.
Tell us a little bit about your career path getting here, to EIU.
Yeah, sure. So I actually have a 25-year career in public education. I was a middle school classroom teacher and library director in Evanston, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago, and decided to kind of do Amy 2.0 and made a jump and came to higher ed. And I've been really excited to be here, and people are just wonderful. It's been a great experience.
Now, how do you connect with the students being new and new to the community and getting them kind of locked into Booth?
Sure. So we've really been taking a lot of time to work with so many different partners around campus. We're working with Residential Life. We're working with everybody over at Student Life. We've been working a lot with the advising department. So they've been really great about working with us to get in touch with all of the students and to be able to figure out ways that we can collaborate and reach out to them and get them into the library just so that they learn more.
All right. Beth, I know there's you have so much going on this semester. We're just going to start knocking one thing off after another. But one of the things I know last year or the year before, it all kind of runs together with COVID and everything. But this blind date with a book, you didn't know it was going to be such a success last year. You actually kind of were, I won't say not prepared, but you were like wow factored. So blind date with a book comes back this weekend. Tell us about what people can expect.
Right. We did it for the first time during February, and it was a big success. People said, you should do this all the time, which we can't do it all the time, but we did bring it back this fall. So for the entire month of October, we got sort of a Halloween theme, but not all of the books will be, Halloween themed necessarily. We will have a display set up on the main floor of the library. You won't be able to see the cover of the book. That's why it's a blind date. There will be hints on the outside, similar to an online dating profile. And so you kind of browse and pick a book that sounds interesting and check it out. And then you take it home and unwrap it to see who you're going to have your blind date with.
That is so cool. Was it an original idea, or did you steal it from somewhere else?
Oh, we stole it from lots of other public libraries who've done it over the years.
I think it's cool. So, do the students or the faculty who take these books home? Do you ask? How do they give you input back about how the book was and things like that?
Yes, inside each book there will be a little card with a link to a survey, a Google Doc, that just asks them how it went. This is how we got all of our feedback back in February. A lot of people said, "Oh, I would have never checked this book out if I had seen the cover," but the hints got me, and now it's one of my favorite books, or it's the best book I've ever read, or those sorts of things. So anybody who fills out the survey is entered into a drawing. The Java in the Union, Java Bean and Bakery, have donated two gift cards for people to participate. So.
That's really cool. Amy, you said earlier that you came from basically a middle school library now to a college library.
Yeah.
It seems like that difference would be obvious, but what is the change from 12 and 13-year-olds to 18 plus?
People are a little taller. I've learned that college-age students clean up after themselves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's been a real positive. I've really enjoyed that.
I'm looking at our students around the TV side to see if they heard that.
But yeah, they clean up after themselves. And And, but one thing that I'll say that is really similar actually between a middle school student and a college student, especially at first year, is just how excited everybody is. And they really seem to be very thrilled to be here and engaged in class and engaged in what's going on in the community and what's happening at the university. And so it's been really exciting to see that really active engagement in what's going on.
Are there ideas you can bring from the public education sector into Eastern for new ideas? I know this is Blind Date with a book and all the stuff going on. Or are you starting to bring some Amy ideas into it?
Yeah, I think so. We decided to kind of change up a little bit how we were doing beginning of the school year tours. And so instead of students coming to us all of the time to see about the library, we started actually going to them. And I really worked with Residential Life to make that happen, so that we were working with people in the actual residence halls. And then eventually we ended up putting together that people kind of wanted like a resident hall night. So we came up with 2 of them and people came over, and it was a really nice community building situation. We had games and puzzles and bingo was a really big hit. It was a lot of people in bingo, and so people seem to really enjoy it.
The Center for Student Innovation has all kinds of things going on, Beth. I don't know what you want to talk about. I know new librarian Trevor Burrows is involved, so talk about what's going on there.
We opened the Center for Student Innovation just before the pandemic, so that kind of slowed us down in getting things organized and going. But we have been open all last school year for our technology checkout station, so that continues. Students can check out laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots and digital cameras and other equipment from that. But this year we have another new librarian. In addition to Amy, we have Trevor Burrows. He is doing a great job. His office is down in the CSI. He's overseeing our GAs along with Michael Gillespie, head of the Faculty Development Innovation Center. Together, they're creating a lot of activities for faculty and students. He has a series of digital sandbox workshops coming up. So you can come in for free and learn how to use all these really cool digital tools like text analysis, where you can have computers like read books for you and analyze the text for you, and how to use your social media in your research, your data, and all kinds of interesting things. Michael Gillespie, on the other hand, is bringing in faculty for a lot of workshops and things, including active learning. We have an active learning classroom as part of our CSI. So we're really happy to see all the classes that have been coming over and taking advantage of that space. And then on top of that, the CSI has a lot of technology you can use in the space. You can't take this out.
Yeah.
But we have 3D printers, a podcasting studio, a VR lab, virtual reality, a Cricut machine. So these are all things.
What's a Cricut machine?
A Cricut machine is where you can print things on vinyl, like if you want to make T-shirts and you print out your decal so that you can iron it on shirts, or lots of other things you can make as far as graphic design and things like that. So
library is not what we always grew up thinking a library is.
Right. We're changing with the times. Many years ago, first we started adding computer labs, and now we're adding all kinds of other technology. What we're trying to, meet the needs of what people are looking for.
That's amazing when you think about it. You said you're soon also going to have an exhibit featuring Zella Powell and Ona Norton. They're the ones who are on the new building, or not the new building, the renaming of the what I would call Douglas Hall for my day at Eastern to the new building. Talk about what's going to happen there.
Right. We found out actually through some stories in the Daily Eastern News that Zella Powell's granddaughter had created an exhibit about her. Zella Powell is believed to be the first African-American graduate from Eastern. And so her granddaughter, who was here for the renaming dedication of the building a couple weeks ago, she has gathered a bunch of photos and information about her grandmother and has created an exhibit. So we got in touch with her to see if we would be able to host it. She very kindly said yes.
Awesome.
And so to go along with that, 2 of our librarians, Brad Tolpanen and David Bell, are gathering information about Ona Norton, who is the other person who is involved in being named for the building. Ona Norton and her husband were known for providing housing for African American students back in the early days of EIU when there was no housing for them. So between David and Brad pulling together the Ona Norton stuff and the traveling exhibit that we're getting from Zella Powell's family. We'll be putting all that together into one exhibit and opening it early October, around October 10th.
Oh, that's really cool. When you come to a university and you see things like this, what kind of goes through your mind, Amy?
Well, it's just really exciting to be able to see all of these new things that are happening, and the fact that people are reaching out to people who used to, come to the university or were students here at the university somehow involved, and to be able to learn more about their lives and to be able to see kind of where they've gone and how impactful that they've been on the community here.
I know Booth is also going to be involved in a couple of upcoming days on the family weekend and homecoming. Can either of you, whoever wants to talk about that?
I'll let Amy talk about family weekend.
Yeah, family. We're very excited to be in part of family weekend. So we're going to be on the library quad right out front in the grass, and we're going to go with the Halloween theme a little bit. And we're offering families the opportunity to not only hear a couple of story times from myself and from Michelle McDaniels, who's our education librarian. We're also going to have lots and lots of books out there so families can grab one and have a nice quiet moment and be able to read together as a family. But we also know how exciting everybody it is to be able to find the Legos, and so we're having Lego at the library.
I saw that, yeah.
And we're going to have a couple of tables just full of blocks and blocks and blocks so that everybody can have a chance to build till their heart's content.
Where did that kind of come from? Legos had kind of disappeared from the lexicon of, but all of a sudden now they're everywhere again.
That's a good
Anybody
question.
know?
I know that they've been pretty good with branding and coming out with kits for whatever's popular,
Yeah.
They had Harry Potter kits back in the day and Star Wars and, all of that. So I think that keeps people interested. But, it's just a very basic creative tool that anybody can
That's true.
sit down and play with. So I just think it's never really lost its appeal over the years.
And they're just great to step on in the middle of the night, too. Homecoming coming up in just a few weeks here at WEIU.
Yes, the library almost always has an entry into the parade, and we will again this year. Playing around with some ideas on how to play around with the theme, but look for us in the library. And then for the second year, we plan to have a tent at Tent City prior to the football game over by the stadium. We will have cold and warm apple cider and caramel apples. I should say apples and caramel dip.
There you go.
And you'll be able to play around with our button maker and probably enter your name into a raffle for some library swag.
There you go. I believe that's October 15th, if I'm correct. If memory serves me correct.
Good question. I'm
almost positive on that. You're going to get an award coming up. So either one of you talk about an award that happened for your digital literacy program.
Yes, I think I talked on this program previously that during 2021, we received a grant from the Illinois Broadband Network. We created a digital literacy program. That involved 4 area public libraries, also Lakeland College adult education students and the Academy of Lifelong Learning. So we had a lot of partners. We hired a digital literacy coordinator who created a curriculum on various digital literacy topics, how to be secure online. He taught you how to just Google your name to see what kind of information is out there about you. Kind of scary. If you haven't done that, you should try it. Fake news online, all those sorts of things. And then in the Mattoon School District, they were interested in the program, so he created a separate curriculum for elementary and middle school and high school students. So all of that, because of our work with all of these different partners, especially public libraries, the Illinois Library Association is going to be giving us an award in a couple of weeks at their annual convention in recognition of interlibrary cooperation. So we're going to get a little bit of money and a certificate.
That's awesome.
Stacy Knight Davis and I will be going up to accept on behalf of the library.
I was just wondering who was going to go, so you got to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's important. I mean,
it's a rough job, but somebody's got to do it.
I get it. You faculty publications are on display. Tell us what that means and where people can check those out.
Yeah, on our main floor on the north end, we have a faculty reading room. It used to be just sort of a quiet little area with lots of shelves that we have now cleared off. A couple years ago, we have turned it into a very specific space for faculty who are looking for a quiet space in the library to do their research. And over the summer, our librarians worked hard to fill those empty shelves with various publications by current EIU faculty. So if you walk in that room now, and anybody's welcome to go in there, you'll see shelves and shelves and shelves of books, journals, music scores, all kinds of things that our own EIU faculty has researched and published. And we thought this was a great...
Is that current faculty, or does that even go back to...
Current. I think they restricted it to current because there was so much. There was just so much.
That's neat.
That it was amazing when they started to, do all the research and see how much there is. And they made sure we had 2 copies of everything, so we could keep one on display and one for people to check out. That was a concern. We're like, well, if we put everything in this room, then people will think they can't check them out, and we obviously want people to use our own locally produced research. But stop in and check it out sometime.
Amy, as you deal with EIU students in this fall and fall semester 2022, what's mostly on their mind? Is there a certain theme to when they ask you questions?
I think a lot of people are really concerned about what they learned in high school and the skill sets that they're bringing to the university, and how they just need a little bit of a boost or a little bit of a booster. I think they're feeling pretty good about things, but they just want a little bit of additional help. So the library is really trying to work hard to try and meet those needs.
Do you deal mostly with younger students coming in as opposed to maybe the junior, senior class?
Yeah, I'm mostly working with the first years and transfer students, and so we're trying to see where they're at, and we're trying to make sure that they're in the right place so that they're successful in their classes.
Now, do you know your way around Booth yet? Because this isn't just a baby library here.
I'm getting better. The first couple of weeks, people like Beth would see me standing in the middle of a hallway, just kind of staring, trying to think through it.
Where is my office?
Where is my office? There was a lot of, how did I get here?
I'm saying, I still could get lost over there myself.
But I would say I'm doing much better.
There you go. Latino Heritage Month is another event or another thing going on right now.
Right.
We're saying it starts October 15th. Is that correct?
No, it started September 15th.
Okay, it ends October 15th.
And it ends October 15th. Yeah, the university is celebrating it campus-wide. The Latin American student organization, LASSO, works with us every year. And so on our main floor, you will see a hallway full of flags representing different Latina countries. And then we have books on display, which Amy helped organize.
We did. We worked with LASSO on that, and we know it's important to have the academic publications out there for students to see, but we really also wanted them to know that we offer so many books that are just pleasure reading, just to take their mind off of things or give them a chance to do something a little bit different away from their schoolwork. So there's a plethora of fun books to be able to read.
I know one thing as I was doing research this morning is the note booth seems to have everything anybody needs to know about the library. And talk. Do you do that, Beth, or with help?
Yeah, I sort of organized it and put it together. A lot of people provided information, of course.
I mean, it's neat because it really does give a great kind of what's going on over at the EIU Booth Library, as well as, very even EIU stuff. But as you put it, how often do you do that? I mean, is it once a quarter, or how's that work?
Once a semester.
Once a semester?
Yes.
And it kind of just runs down that semester? All right.
Uh-huh.
I know Race Chat was another thing that was in there. Talk about that.
Right. In the spring semester, the library, along with a lot of other community and campus partners, put on our first Race Chat. And our second one is going to be coming up. I'm checking Note Booth for the date, November 1st. What we wanted to do, there's been a lot of programs and things on campus over the years with speakers and things like that, and those are all fantastic on, around subjects of civil rights and race issues. We wanted this to be more of a chat, just like the title says, so that everyone feels like they have a chance to participate and share their experiences.
Yeah.
And learn from each other. So our first one in the spring was a success. We had a lot of people there. We started out as a bigger group, and then we broke into smaller groups and just talked about different issues and topics. And we're going to be doing that again on November 1st. Office of Civic Engagement and Volunteerism and the Christian Campus House, Wesley Foundation, National Association for Advancement of Colored People, LASSO, Coles County Faith-Based Coalition for Racial Justice, Making Excellence Inclusive. All of these groups on campus are helping to co-sponsor this with us. It's being held at the library, but I don't want to take credit for doing all the work because it's really not just us. There's a couple of us from the library, but a lot of these other groups coming together to put this together.
Always take credit.
Well, we'll take credit for providing the space.
There you go. One of the neat things I read in the notebook this morning, and I think is cool, is people give you EIU artifacts for a display. I don't know is that Amy or Beth, and talk about how that came about. And I just think it's kind of cool. I like visual, substance ideas like that. So
I can say that I walked into the office the day they came in, and everybody was really excited about the new artifacts. I can tell you that.
That's neat.
Yeah, we get excited when we get that stuff. Year round, we have people donate books or monetary donations to the library, but EIU's University Archives and Special Collections is also located in the library. And so sometimes we'll get, interesting documents or photos or artifacts from family members, from if they have a parent or a grandparent or family member who went to school here, and they're going through their items and they see things related to EIU and they think, oh, maybe the university would like to have that. So the two things that are promoted in Note Booth were things that just came in recently. One is a class ring. At first we thought it was from the teacher's college, but as we looked at it more closely, we realized it was the high school. Back in the day, EIU it's always been known for its education program, but it actually started as a teacher's college.
Yeah.
And in order to give students training, we had, an elementary and high school here where our college students would teach our regular students. And this was actually a class ring from that teacher's college high school. And then we also had a blanket donated to us. And it's a lot of fun for our archivists to look up this stuff because, we didn't really know a lot about the Women's Athletic Association, but that's what this blanket was from.
Let's see.
And of course, in your archives, you can find anything. So this blanket was, we think, from the 50s because that's when, it says 1955 on the blanket and the person's name, Marlene Wynn. Her name is on it. So, family members who come across this stuff and it doesn't really have any personal meaning to them, but at the same time, they feel like, they don't want to just get rid of it. So, they donate it back to us, and it's really cool. We have all kinds of interesting things down in their archives.
Okay. Other events or things that I didn't touch on that you want to get the word out? We got about 6 minutes left, so I didn't want to forget anything.
Yeah, actually, we're coming to about the middle of our empowered researcher workshops that we've been offering. They're 30 minutes, so they're super quick. They're very painless, as reported by last week's attendees. They all said they learned a lot. But we're doing one tonight, and we're doing one tomorrow at lunchtime, and they're all about thinking about your keywords when you're doing research so that if you're on those databases, you get, better hits for what you're looking for.
I think they're Tuesdays and Wednesdays, not Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh,
right?
Today's Monday. See, I don't even know what day of the week it is, everybody. But yes, they're Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then we're going to have another one October 4th and 5th, and then we'll follow up in the middle of the month, and those are going to be about actually looking for books. You're going to have to go on a little scavenger hunt around the library to literally see if you can practice trying to find a book.
That's cool. Other events or things that we didn't touch on?
I will mention another grant program that is just about to finish up on September 30th. Last year, we received a grant from the Illinois State Library to put together a program related to workforce development.
Yep.
And so we've been working with the EIU School of Extended Learning and Career Services, and this whole summer and finishing up this month, but two people from the Career Services, Bobby Kingery and her assistant John, have been presenting workforce development workshops, job skills workshops, like how to write a resume and interview skills and those sorts of things. And we've been doing that in 5 area public libraries: Mattoon, Charleston, Effingham, Sullivan, and Greenup. So these are free workshops sponsored by the grant. Hopefully people found them useful. We learned, during the pandemic, and since then there were a lot of statistics going out about job skills, and the job market really got mixed up there for a while. Things were just not normal, and so this provided an opportunity as people were getting back on their feet to refresh some of those skills and maybe be able to apply for a job moving up in the workforce a little bit.
Speaking of that, everything is clear in terms of no COVID restrictions or anything at Booth right now?
No, everything is clear. We still do have free masks at the doors if you prefer to put them on, but they're not required. And we also have free COVID tests provided by the university. So if you feel like you need one, you can come to the door. You don't have to come too far inside. Grab a test and then take it back home with you and
I
take
see a
it.
few people with masks, but not near as much. Hopefully,
Right.
we're coming to the end. Do you track traffic at booths? So you know how many people walk through in a month? Any stats that you could give us or ideas?
I don't know any stats off the top of my head, but each of our doors, as you walk through, we have gates and it counts. It's a counter.
Okay.
And so we have students and staff who check those numbers throughout the day, and then, at the end of the year, we can kind of see, we kind of know what our busy times are,
There you go.
just from the number of bodies in the building. But it's good to look back to see, kind of how low they got during the pandemic when we were pretty much closed. It's really been refreshing. It feels like, and maybe it's just this post-pandemic thing, but it feels like I see more students in the library now than there were before the pandemic.
People
And
like
I don't
to be out.
know
They
why
were-
that is, but
I think being in close quarters and all that.
They're just glad to get out.
It doesn't matter where you go, even the library, right?
even the library.
Well, it used to be,
yeah.
I'm going to go somewhere else, but now
I
I'm
know
going to
what you
study.
mean.
Because, you think about what the library is now. It's not just
That's right.
books. I mean, it's so much
Yeah,
more.
that's exactly why we come on the radio to spread that message.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that I've written down, and you kind of touched on, but I want to expand on a little bit about. You said you had the room with the EIU faculty, basically authorship of all the events. Is there a section of people who graduated from EIU or have some EIU tie, where it's an EIU like authors or some, where their works are all present, or is that?
We have not done that. We have done individual exhibits over the years,
Yeah.
focusing on different authors. There's nothing like that at the moment. As you know, a couple years back, we were going to have a Comic-Con
Yeah.
that got canceled because of the pandemic, but Craig Titley was one of our sort of claims to fame from EIU, and he was
He's
going
coming on Issues and Attitudes in this fall sometime.
Ooh. So he was going to give a screenwriting workshop, and we were going to have some stuff of his out. Unfortunately, as I said, that got canceled. But we do that from time to time. We did have an alumni author talk, virtual, was that last week or the week before? We had four EIU graduates who are published authors, and they're from all over the United States now, so we had to do it virtually. But we had a good audience, and they all talked about how their time at EIU sort of affected them and what it took to get their books published. And we had some students, who participated who hope to be authors someday, and I think it was a
That's cool.
good program for them.
What is the book submission process at Booth? Do you have, if somebody has a book they've written, is there a way they can come to you, or how's that work?
Yeah, they can contact us. Our librarians are all specialists in particular areas. So let's say somebody writes a science book, we would send them to Kirsten because she's our science librarian.
Okay.
They keep track of what the new research and publications are. Generally speaking, we would just purchase that and add it to our collection.
Well, I got 30 seconds left, so I know you're going to be sad. I'm not going to get to 8 questions. But
Darn.
one question I want to ask real quickly. Do any famous EIU alumni still owe money to Booth Library because they checked out a book? That was my best question.
I
I know
am
you
not
can't tell
aware.
us-
I'm not aware of any. No.
Okay. There you go. So thank you so much. Great to meet you, Amy, and
Nice to meet
welcome
you,
to
too.
EIU. I hope you're having a great time at Booth, and definitely, I'm sure you'll be back with Beth talking about the next year's events here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And Beth, always good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thanks so much. Everybody have a great day. That's the Booth Library. We are WEIU.